Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Estate Sale, where we go past the items and all the little things that happen at an estate sale, and we focus more on the people that we meet along the way. So this story is going to be about a woman who gave us a call for downsizing, um, and in the beginning of the call, my dog started barking like crazy. I mean, just wouldn't stop barking. Right. So normally someone will either I don't know, they'll be quiet for a little while, or they'll even laugh a little bit, if it's a little awkward and the dog's going crazy. But she started asking me questions about my dogs, about my dog, and then it got into all the pets that I had and the pets that she had, and it was normal, casual conversation. But she asked like genuine and authentic questions that she basically pulled out of me, that my one dog has health issues and that he can't really walk and things like that, and she became like the most empathetic human being. She doesn't know me. She never met me before, and she just really genuinely felt bad for the dog, and we talked about the treatments and everything else that was going on with him, and and we talked about like it's okay because he's not in any pain and all that other stuff, and before you know it, we're the conversation's going on for like a solid 5 minutes, and it felt like I was talking to an old friend, and she her empathy just oozed out, and it was almost like I had called her for some kind of emotional support with my dog, and that's never happened at a call for our services before. Usually I'm the one who's being empathetic because, excuse me, because they have they've got the needs going on, So I knew right away this was not going to be like a traditional sale, So as we get to talking, I learned why she reached out. She and her daughter, they weren't just downsizing. She was kind of making like a major life change. The two of them were best friends. They lived together, but she was facing some I guess some major health concerns, and it got her thinking about what would happen after she was gone. Which is not an easy thing for anybody to do. Um, so she didn't want her daughter to have to deal with a full house of stuff, or especially while she was grieving. She didn't want her daughter to have to make all those decisions. What to keep, what to sell, what to let go of. So she said she's going to make the choice herself, and she reached out to us. So she's selling her home, most of the contents in it, and then the plan was to move into a tiny home, which to me I think is awesome because I want to live in a tiny home, but that's a sidebar. So she'd live in a tiny home with her daughter, and then they just take the items that they just needed, So to me, like just making that decision, it's an incredible amount of strength for her to say, okay, I'm going to get ahead of this. So um, we we hang up the call. Uh, I I get ready to go meet her in person, and when I met her in person, the same warmth that came over the phone I felt instantly. Um, you know, we didn't just talk about the phone. I mean, I'm sorry, we didn't just talk about the sale. We talked about life. We talked about family. I learned the hard times that she's been through, and how she built the life that she's always wanted. You know, she's a tough lady. Very impressive. We even got into those kind of off limit things that like religion, politics. The big ones that you don't really ever talk about. But we did, and the thing is, it wasn't divisive. It was just two people sharing experiences, learning from each other, completely respectful of the other person's viewpoint. By the end of the week of setting up, I had such a deep respect for her. She'd been through so much, yet here she was, making one of the hardest decisions of her life, and not for herself, but for her daughter. I walked away thinking like, this is why I do this. It's not for the stuff, it's not for the sale, it's for the people. And it they weigh heavily on my mind while I'm doing these things. So through my time with her, she taught me so much. Really, like she taught me about what it is to really love someone, to plan ahead, and making choices while you still have time. These are just things that we just don't do. And it's hard, and I understand why we don't do them. To face one's mortality it's a tough thing to do. So, we don't often think about, but the things that we leave behind, they're not just things, they're responsibilities for someone else to handle. And for her, the greatest gift she could give her daughter was to make sure that she didn't have to do that. So she didn't want her to carry that burden. So I'm honored to have been part of her journey, even in just a small way. And that's kind of what this series is about, right? So, when we do these episodes of Beyond the Estate Sale, these are the type of things I want to share. So hopefully you enjoyed it. This is something I'm going to continue to do every week. I'll have another episode for you next Sunday. Let me know what you think, and if there's any stories that you know of while you're shopping in a estate sale and you want to share them with me, please do. I'd love to. I'd love to learn about them and even share them for you. So thank you guys very much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.